So, unless you want exploding boiled eggs, you definitely want to make sure that there is an air um, outlet. So, just take a little needle and make a little pinprick in the bottom before boiling them. So, again, the benefit to these is that it's just like pulling out an egg out of the refrigerator, out of the coop, cracking it open, and having a fresh egg that has been sitting in this hydrated lime for months. Now, data says that you can actually do this for up to 2 years. Personally, I wouldn't. And I'm not storing them for that reason. I want to make sure that I have enough eggs to do me through the winter when our chickens slow down a little bit, and so that our family has eggs available for baking and eating. But also, it's a great way to use up those surplus eggs that you get during the busy times of the year when they're laying like crazy during the spring and summer. For us, even the fall, our girls lay pretty well. And for the most part, they still lay through the majority of the winter, but they slow down. We don't get as many eggs. So this will give us fresh eggs through the winter at those times then when normally we just don't have them available. Essentially what we've done is we've taken a 5 gallon pail. We got this at Canadian Tire. It's food grade. We've taken that, put boiled water in. We did choose to boil the water. There are mixed reviews on this. However, I've heard enough reviews to say and tell me that if you don't boil the water, your mixture isn't going to mix great. And so I didn't take any chances. So we boiled the water, added in, now we put 10 quarts of water in this 5 liter bucket. And we added in 5 pounds of hydrated lime. Now you can get hydrated lime at your hardware store. Rona has it available very easily. I did have some trouble finding it elsewhere at this time, but you can get hydrated lime. It's in the garden section. It's used for building projects and all kinds of things. It's essentially the generic of what used to be called pickling lime. So you can buy pickling lime at a very small package for a high price, or you can get a nice big bag of this stuff from Rona, and it's exactly the same thing. But make sure it's hydrated lime, slake lime, that's what it's called. And that's going to do the trick. The mixture is 8 ounces per 1 quart. So, with 10 quarts being put into this bucket of boiled water, we ended up putting in 5 pounds of lime because that's 80 ounces and gave it a mix. Then what I did was let it cool overnight because obviously I do not want to put fresh eggs into boiling water. Otherwise, they're not going to be fresh eggs anymore. They're going to be cooked. It's imperative that you use fresh, clean eggs. I can't stress this enough. You're preserving something. So the last thing you want is bacteria from any debris on your eggs. You cannot wash your eggs. You need to keep the natural bloom on them. Otherwise, that's the lime is just going to seep through, and you're going to get really funky tasting eggs. That is the reason that you don't want to do this project with store bought eggs. However, if you're buying store bought eggs, it's kind of defeating the purpose anyway. This is really a preservation method for people who are trying to be self sufficient and use their eggs that they have. So they don't have to buy store bought. So all of those things are just part of this process. You put your eggs in the bottom. Now you will have settling. This water looks really scummy. It's just the lime. This is just the sediment from the lime. You're going to find that a lot of the lime, even after you've mixed it, boiled it, all of that, settles to the bottom. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not hurting your mixture, and it's perfectly okay. So expect that, and don't worry about it. What you want to do is make sure that when you're placing these in, it's going to be really hard until you get them full enough to place them in pointy side down. But once you start to fill up, you'll be able to arrange them pointy side down. Hydrated lime is a desiccant. It is drying and irritating to the skin. It's fairly safe, but it's still an irritation to the skin, especially if you have sensitive skin. So either use gloves or use utensils to do what you've got to do, um, just to be safe. And make sure that you wash and moisturize your hands afterwards for sure. That being said, make sure your hands are clean before you're doing this as well. Once you've got your eggs into this mixture and you have enough, and again, you can't really tell, but there's about 60 to 70 eggs in this bucket, and that's in 10 quarts. The once you've got them in here and you're ready to close them up and put them away, just put your lid on your bucket tight because you want to prevent evaporation and bacteria. And then if you need to add eggs, just open up your lid, pop in another egg as you've got it. If you're not a full bucket yet. You need at least 2 inches of water over the heads of your eggs, so don't add any more than 2 inches of water or covering. The other thing is that you don't want to jostle this around a lot. These are eggs, they're going to break. If you start clinking them together, they're going to break, and then it's going to spoil your whole batch. One other thing that you need to know is that although this is a refrigerator free method, you don't want them in the hottest part of your house. Put them somewhere where it's a little cooler room, out of the light, and just put them away, just like you would any preserved item. Set them away. You can forget about them. You don't need to deal with them again. We're going to test these out. I'm going to check these out in about 2 weeks, just because I'm curious. I haven't done the hydrated lime. I've done the other chemical product. There is more than one way of doing this, and maybe later on I'll show you the other way as well. But this is the first time for me trying hydrated lime. But they've been doing it since the 1800s, so I'm figuring it's pretty much a given method. This is the way that they preserved eggs before refrigeration was available. So it's kind of exciting to be able to do this. Now, once this bucket is put away, in about 2 weeks, I'm going to check on it, just because I'm anxious and nosy and curious, and I want to see how it's going. And I will test out an egg then, and then I'm probably going to test another out in about 2 months' time. And I'll test it against an egg that we bring in from our coop to just see how much freshness difference there is. So, key points. Make sure you boil your water. It's going to make things a lot easier. 8 ounces of hydrated lime to 1 quart of water. Ensure that you have at least 2 inches covering your eggs once they're all in. Pointy side down, and cover tightly and put in a room that's not overly hot and out of direct sunlight. Also, make sure that your eggs are not washed, but they are clean, fresh eggs from your coop. Good luck. If anybody tries this, throw me a comment and let me know how it goes for you.